Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And we are going to be talking some Qigong. And so I wanted to share with you the PDF of a book that was one of the big inspirations for me. And I read it first back in, I believe, 1987. So about 32 years ago. And that's actually about when my voyage into all this happened. And, previous to this or around that same time, I had read a couple other books. And then I, ended up hurting myself weightlifting. And so I ended up really switching my main focus from weightlifting, very heavy weights, and doing karate where I was sparring on a regular basis, full contact, to going within and really dedicated myself fully to Qigong. But this is a great book, and it's something that can give you so much information on exactly what Qigong is. And so this is written by Mantak Chia, who is one of the top authorities on Qigong in the world today, at least out in the public, as so many masters are in secret as well. And in the old days, they were mostly in secret, the real old days. But now we are being given the opportunity to have such a wealth of knowledge come to us from all around the world, and it's so incredibly enlightening. And so his system is Universal Tao System, and he has written, he's probably written 50 books or more over the years, and there's a lot of videos as well by him. And as I was saying, he's one of the main forces in Qigong, along with several others out there, and have been doing it forever, their entire lives. So as we see here, I want to give you some, Taoist philosophy, Taoist thoughts, and where we're supposed to really take this. And so you can see that, again, there's this gradation system, and he talks about it as levels here. We could think about it in some ways as densities again. It's a different layer of being. Going from the earthly plane, very heavy, dense physical existence, to the realm of the primordial, as Sassy is kicking in with her opinion on this, which, as we go on up through the densities, everything vibrates at a higher frequency until we get to the realm of the primordial Tao. And again, the Tao is that which contains all that we see. The Tao is unnameable, the true Tao. It contains everything that is manifest, but it itself is unmanifest. So it's potential in so many ways. And when we look at these different systems, and this is out of China, if we look at, say, Shaivism, you view Shiva and Shakti. And again, Shakti is the divine feminine force, so that's the earthly mothering force. It's more than the earth. It's that which actually gives birth to us and all life, where Shiva is literally translated as that which is not. So Shiva is a potentiality, i.e., in effect, Shiva is like the Tao in so many ways. It's that which works through the divine feminine energy to give birth to all that there is. And so this is about Iron Shirt Qigong. And so Iron Shirt Qigong is it is basically martial. So it was developed for the martial arts. And it was developed so that you could pack qi around your organs, around your bones, and actually store it there. And then if you were struck a blow, it wouldn't hurt you. And so you developed this iron shirt. And in the old days where people fought, in hand-to-hand combat, it was extremely beneficial, to say the least, to have an iron shirt. So it's bigger than this, though, because the ultimate goal is changing ourselves spiritually. And as it is explained here, which I think is a good idea to read for you guys, in the spiritual plane, the aim is to develop the immortal fetus. The immortal fetus is developed in 2 stages. The first stage is concerned with overcoming reincarnation. The next stage develops and educates the immortal fetus to become a full-grown immortal spirit. Iron Shirt is one of the most important exercises of the physical plane, because through its practice one learns rootedness to Mother Earth energy, a phenomenon intrinsic to the spiritual plane. And this is exactly how you need to visualize it. We sink our roots into the earth, and that is done through what is called the bubbling wells chakras in the feet, which again are just towards the center of the ball of the foot, right in the middle of the feet. And over time you will feel them pulsate, you'll feel them throb. Sometimes they'll actually feel as if you're standing on 2 cones of energy. It's so powerful. And it is something that is definitely to be strived for. Focus on this rootedness. Every inhale, pull up the energy from Mother Earth. Get used to doing that with every breath, every day, all the time. And that might sound overwhelming, but it can be done. It can be done. And if we could train ourselves to do that, then we will live much stronger, healthier lives, healthier mentally, spiritually, and much stronger physically. It's one of the keys. So, as we see here, the launching of the spiritual body. So, he's doing it as a space shuttle analogy. Central tower and launching pad, the physical body. Booster rockets lift off with the shuttle, the soul body or chi body. The booster rockets separate from the shuttle. The soul body completes the lifting of the spirit body. The shuttle flies free, i.e. the spirit body, and goes on. So one may compare the foundation or rootedness of the physical body to an Earth control tower, vital to the travel of a space shuttle into Earth. To boost the space shuttle, the spirit, into the Earth control tower requires a booster rocket, the soul or energy body, which is guided by an inner compass and computer, the pineal gland. The Earth control tower, in the form of our physical body, developed during the practice of Iron Shirt, becomes a storage place for fuel, chi, and our creative or sexual energy. Here our fuel awaits transformation into another kind of energy, spiritual energy. As we learn how to develop an immortal spirit compass and computer by opening the pineal gland, which will guide us back to Earth to complete the unfinished job of development here, we must maintain our foundation or our rootedness and resume our space travel to our destination until eventually we are able to discard the earthly base entirely. So again, if we view it this way, we see the physical body strongly rooted into the energies of the earth, the soul or chi body above it, and then the spirit body above that. Each one is a different density. And so the physical body, everything is basically vibrating at a slower rate of speed. It speeds up in the soul or the chi body, and the spirit body is vibrating at an even higher rate of speed. In fact, we could even do an analogy where we equate these to the 3 dantians. And this would be basically the lower dantian, which is about 2 inches below your navel. And this would be the middle dantian, which is in between the solar plexus chakra and the heart chakra. And this could equate to the upper dantian, which is right where the pineal gland is, the third eye center, the intersection of the third eye center and the crown chakra. And so this gets back into ancient practice as well. And so Kung Fu was used in China long before the advent of firearms. During the Bolan period, approximately 1000 BC, training in the various spiritual and martial arts was very intense. It was said that at the time, 1/10 of the population in China was involved in some form of Kung Fu. In ancient Kung Fu practice, training began in very early youth. One first worked to develop internal power, inner strength through organ exercise, a venture that could take as long as 10 years. Thereafter, one might have to throw a straight punch 1,000 times a day for a period lasting from 3 to 5 years. One might be instructed to strike the top of a water well with the flat of his palm 1,000 times a day for 5 to 10 years, or until the water leapt out of the well. Iron Shirt Qigong, a method of Kung Fu, was learned as a protective training device, providing internal power by the practice of simple external techniques. The practitioner was guarded against the effects of the blows to his vital organs and glands, the primary sources of the production of life force energy. The word Qi means air, it means energy, life force. Kung means discipline, the one who puts time into practice. Therefore, Qigong means to practice the process of breathing to increase the Qi pressure, life force pressure. 1,000 times a day, internal power was cultivated till it could be felt flowing out of the hands. So we are blessed today because we are in times today which have energetically changed. So now we could develop all this so much faster than in these days. We were deeper into the Kali Yuga back in these days. We're basically coming out of the Kali Yuga now, and our abilities are increasing tremendously. So, what took a decade back then with dedication could take 1/10 of the time or even less. And we can sense chi so much easier. We can move it so much easier. We can manifest healing so much faster. So we are truly blessed in these times in that sense. So obviously this was a very important thing to develop. It'll benefit your overall health. It'll also benefit you spiritually. And so it goes into kind of understanding how life force pressure can protect our organs. Think of it as a tire, right? Or you could think of it as if you put an egg in a balloon and you blew up that balloon within another balloon, blowing that one up, you could throw the egg against the wall all day long and it'll be okay. And so what we do is we pull the Qi in and around the organs, and it protects the organs. It bathes them in the life force, and the life force will give the organs the nutrition they need, and also the protective, basically like a protective body armor of sorts to protect the organs as well. And it's all about the breathing, all about the breathing. As you see here, in an unborn infant, the Qi enters through the umbilical cord, through the navel, and circulates. Our original Qi we get from our parents is stored in our kidneys. And so when you're low on Qi, a lot of times you might have low back pain or kidney pain. One way for men to lose Qi is to ejaculate. And it depends on how old you are, how many times you are allowed, quote unquote, in Taoist philosophy to ejaculate. When we are young, you could do it often, because the Qi is so abundant. But as we age, less and less often. And we need to focus more and more on gathering good, pure Qi through our breath and through our nutrition as well. When you eat live foods, you're taking in actual Qi. If you went out to your garden and broke off leaves of lettuce and pulled up carrots and onions and celery and things and made a beautiful salad right there, just from the ground to your plate to your mouth, you are loading yourself up with Qi. And that's the way we're supposed to be, because food will either deplete Qi or it'll add Qi. It takes Qi to break down food. So if we eat a big heavy steak that has been sitting in the freezer for a week, and you thaw it out and you cook it, and that's going to take a lot more life force to break that down than it's going to give you. It can give you protein and other things as well. However, just recognize it's going to deplete Qi to basically break it down and process it. So eating as much live foods as possible is absolutely critical if we want to avoid premature aging and disease. And so one can see here, as it says, the effects of reduced Qi pressure with age. In older people, the prenatal life force is drained from the navel and the kidney areas. Generally, Qi pressure is lost, creating an energy imbalance. When the pressure is low, the fluid low, and the entire system slows down. As a result, at times when our energy becomes too hot, it will move up and congest the chest and the head. Cold energy will move down through the sexual organs and leak out. Gradually, we lose Qi pressure. We begin to lose the habit of abdominal breathing, and the lungs are left alone to do chest breathing, which ages us, and it keeps us in the sympathetic nervous system, where basically cortisol is being produced, which is a stress hormone, and it's just going to speed up the aging process. Abdominal breathing like a baby is what we are to do all the time, again. And then abdominal breathing, recognizing that every breath you take in is breathing in life force. So it gets into a lot more detail on qi, on qi, the fascia, the organs and the bones. And there's a lot of keys to take from this, and I'll have a link for this PDF. Very good PDF if you want to get deeper into Qigong. And again, one of the most powerful things is what is called packing process breathing, in which we are pour breathing. Every inhale, do me a favor, close your eyes. Now, as you inhale, imagine that you are taking in this crystalline green light that enters through every pore in the skin on your body from head to toe. As you breathe in slow, breathe in deep, breathe in forcefully. And feel the surface of your skin as you breathe in tingle with energy. See this energy as a crystalline green, vibrant energy that enters through every single pore in the skin. It goes down through the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments, the fascia. It goes down through all the organs, and it goes down into the bones. See the bones glowing with this energy. And it goes into the bone marrow where it's stored. And so this is something that is an extremely powerful meditation. This will energize your entire body. This can almost right every wrong when practiced on a regular basis. This can build tremendous youthfulness, vibrancy. It can balance our life force throughout our body and strengthen our blood, purify our blood. So this is a key. This is most definitely a key in so many ways. And so the posture that you're seeing here is called embracing the tree. And this is a great pose to hold for drawing the life force in. When we're in this position, we will automatically draw the life force in with the breath. And you'll draw it in from both above and below, from the bubbling wells as well as from the Bahui point, which is right at the crown chakra. You're drawing cosmic spiritual energy in through the crown chakra, drawing earth energy in through the bubbling wells in the feet, and you're gathering it. And you could gather it here in between your arms as an energy ball. Recognize that every one of our organs is, in a sense, a living being, just as you and I are living beings. So one of the things we do when we are sending energy in towards a particular organ is we smile to it. And smiling automatically changes the hormonal complexity of the body and shifts us. Along with abdominal breathing, it will shift us into the parasympathetic nervous system, and we'll start to produce serotonin and melatonin, which are going to be beneficial for the healing of our body. So this gets into various iron shirt exercises, why to do it, initial preparations, how to breathe properly. Gets into abdominal and reverse breathing. And I just wanted to give you this PDF and give you a little taste of it. One of the key things is to feel expansion everywhere. Everywhere. Expand out towards the back, the sides, and the front. So it might look like the baby is only breathing with the belly expanding towards the front, but the pressure is even. So that is what we want to maintain. And we want to feel that pressure towards the sides and then also towards the lower back as well. And this will give you the correct stances. The thymus is key. The thymus is all about our immune system. It slows down and shuts down as we get older, but we can awaken it as well just by simply even tapping on it and sending intention in. You could tap on it, leave your fingers right there on your sternum, and send energy in and visualize it working as if you were a young child again. Again, the Taoists have these legends as well about immortal beings that are, again, we could equate them to ascended masters or rishis that live pretty much indefinitely. And through this practice, one can ultimately become basically one of these immortal beings. Of course, that is, again, dependent on where the soul is and where the immortal spirit is in its journey, and how much work it has done in the previous lifetimes as well. Interesting how almost every single culture, besides our modern Judeo-Christian culture, believes in reincarnation. And there is a lot of evidence that the Abrahamic religions originally did believe in reincarnation. At least many people did. So I wanted to share this with you guys. It gives you some great practices to do on a daily basis for those that are interested in going to a different level with Qigong. And truly, the sky is the limit. Because ultimately, what we're doing here is spiritual development. And so, what we can gather and take from our lower dantian, which again, the lower dantian is where the Jing is stored. The Jing is the more heavier form of the life force. Once that is filled up in the lower dantian, it rolls on up into the middle dantian. Middle dantian, it's converted into Shen, and then goes up on up into the upper dantian. And the upper dantian, whatever we could move up into the upper dantian, the more spiritual energy we could gather in the upper dantian, we will take with us into the next lifetime as well. So we'll take with us more knowledge, more knowing, more gnosis. Just that understanding, like, I've done all this before. I know this. This is so familiar. Well, that's what we take with us. So it's a matter of cultivating the Qi and going to ever new higher levels, which does take consistent practice. It takes dedication. It just doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen with one meditation session. It has to be practiced on a consistent daily basis. It has to become part of your life. Till every breath that you are taking, you are pulling Qi in. Every breath you're taking, you're pulling Qi into your body. And at the same time, every exhale, you're letting go of any sort of stress, any sort of dis-ease. It's all about controlling the mind. The people that have the hardest time are the ones that have rabbit minds or monkey minds, where their minds can't shut down. Their minds can't focus on one thing. It's always being distracted and pulled in other directions. So one of the most critical things to do is to calm that. And again, that's done basically through our breathing pattern. And one of the easiest things to do is to adopt a breathing pattern and just stick to it and focus on it exclusively. So whether that's inhaling for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and do again. Or we could do different breathing patterns and experiment with them. And when I go deep into meditation, I'm probably only taking 1 breath a minute. It's that slow. But at the same time, at that point, I'm drawing in probably 10 times the Qi I normally draw in. And so what you're looking at here is the microcosmic orbit. Well, basically I should correct that. We have the microcosmic orbit right here, right, which goes up the spine, over the crown. The tongue is connected to the roof of the mouth, flows down through the tongue, comes down through the conception vessel. So this is known as the governing vessel and the conception vessel. And the macrocosmic orbit is including the feet. So it's interesting because the energy will come in the front like this and then cross over and go up the spine and then come back down like that. So we get to the point where we consciously circulate the energy. And what this does is this distributes the energy of the life force to the 12 primary meridians. So every organ gets an equal distribution of the life force energy. And again, this is a key practice, and it's in the book as well. Very important practice. So, my friends, as always, like, share, subscribe. Please do come join us on Patreon. And thank everybody who is a Patreon, keeping the family going. And also on Ko-Fi. And make sure you subscribe to both channels. As always, my friends, I look forward to your comments. Anybody that's interested in training, there are one-to-one sessions available, teaching Qigong, Pranic healing, Reiki, and other esoteric arts. So, my friends, much love, God bless, and namaste.